This is it, what? This is it, what? This is it, what? Now pop the cork and steam the Vega and get lit, what? And get lit, what? And get lit, what? What? This is it, what? This is it, what?
Yeah, y'all already know it's a little different today. It's a little different today because you know what? Today we got a new segment coming at you. You know, I'm your boy, Mr. Exclusive. But of course, this is a beautiful extension of the Xclusive Nights podcast. Tonight, I bring you Xclusive Minds, where an exclusive mind is a terrible thing to waste. With that being said, let me introduce you. Well, you already know these guys, but I'm going to go ahead and introduce you anyway to the phenomenal panel that is with me today so we can talk a little deep into some things in wrestling today. First, the one and only true Knight, ladies and gentlemen, the Knight of all nights, Mr. Eric Knight. How you doing, brother?
Hey, you know me, being the man, the myth, the legend as always. I'm excited for this. This is gonna be good. Oh, should have Booker T would say, "What?"
Good. Yeah. You know, we're good and all that. And of course, you know, we can't be without the only person that can kick you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, Mr. H.B. Prince himself. What's up, brother? How you doing? He on mute. That's all right. He on mute. We got him. We good now. There you go.
I'm doing all right. I'm not kicking kids yet. We doing all right.
Yeah, look, we're not on kicking kids just yet here on Xclusive Mind. So look, the whole thing with this, y'all, is like we're going to come to you once a month, kind of give you some top fives. We're going to give you some hot takes that you probably were like, oh, okay, that's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, sometimes we're just going to go into a couple of deep topics. So with that being said, we're going to start off with our first segment, Deep Thoughts. All right. So it's time to get into Deep Thoughts. And so our first topic in Deep Thoughts, there are a lot of people out here in the wrestling world who a lot of people have a lot of affection for. They love him. They think, man, this person is great. If they put the goal on him, he will be phenomenal. But the disrespect continues on so many levels. So today, the first question on Xclusive Minds is, who is the most disrespected wrestler in the world to you? Eric Knight, I'm going to start off with you, brother. In your eyes, who is being disrespected the most?
Man, you know, it's funny how you asked me that because, you know, I had a couple of answers for this. You know, the first one I said, well, if you want to talk about disrespect, Hulk Hogan. we are openly disrespecting him on every level. I mean, if we want to talk about somebody I feel like that is legitimately getting disrespected, man, my man Carmelo Hayes, man. Carmelo Hayes, man. Just I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. This man was the number one draft pick. You should have had something for him. Out of everybody else, my man has not gotten that proper jetpack on his back to skyrocket like we've seen Braun Breaker and Tiffany Stratton that came from NXT. So yeah, Carmelo Hayes is my most disrespected superstar right now.
That's a really good choice, Eric. I mean, because you made a good point. He was the number one pick of the draft. There was a lot of hype about Carmelo coming in to SmackDown, and he had great matches. You've seen the matches with Randy Orton and some great matches with Andrade, but it never materialized to anything past that. We haven't seen any championship, like really opportunities at championships. It's just been crazy.
Nothing. Yeah, man, it's crazy disrespect, man. I mean, again, I love my man Shinsuke, but we gave the title to Shinsuke instead of putting that U.S. title on Melo. And man, just think of what could have been if we gave him that U.S. title reign. Just a test. This is a test.
The HB Prince, I asked you that. How you feel about that? Do you feel that Carmelo Hayes is getting disrespected on a level that we've never seen?
I don't know about on the level that we've never seen. I think, he's won that Andre the Giant Memorial for whatever that's worth. And they feature him on television, quite a bit. I still think jury's out on that. But if you're talking about him coming in from being an NXT champion in NXT and the way they've kind of treated him since he's gotten to the main roster compared to like a Braun Breaker, then I can kind of see where you're coming from. But for now, we're still seeing him on television. They're putting him in some good feuds. So I'm not gonna quite say he's being disrespected. Yeah, I think the most disrespected thing is them putting that big goofy Andre the Giant chain around his neck. That they've never had any other wrestler who won the Andre the Giant Memorial tournament, do or wear. But we get a brother win it,
right?
And then we're gonna put a big gold Andre the Giant chain on his neck that he has come out to the ring with. Get out of here.
Hey, brother, like gold. Go ahead and hook him up.
Yeah. That's another one of them Triple H crime time moments.
Hey, yo. It's like, you know what? Go ahead, brother. You got it. It's gonna look good on you, and then we're gonna have the Miz give it to you. So it's gonna just be great.
Crazy work.
It's gonna be great.
Crazy work.
Now, HB Prince. Now,
Yeah.
I know you gotta have somebody. Is there anybody in your heart that you just I kind of know? I think I know where you're gonna go, but I could be wrong. Who's the most disrespected wrestler in the world to you, man?
I'm gonna swerve you a little bit on this because I have them down. I had two because I thought for sure one of you guys would take the first one that I talk about all the time, and that was Chad Gable. But actually, I'm going Ludwig Kaiser.
Oh, I like this. I like this.
I think Ludwig Kaiser is very disrespected in the sense that I think he is a complete package. I think he has the character. I think he has the in-ring talent and ability. I think when they had Imperium together, that was a great faction that they really should have pushed more like they did when they were in NXT. But I feel like Ludwig Kaiser is a perfect mid-card wrestler that should be wearing the Intercontinental Championship, and is somebody that you could say, he's been wearing the Intercontinental Championship for 400, 600, 700, 800 consecutive days. Whatever you want to you do, and it would make sense to me because he's one of those people that can go in the ring, can go on the mic, and he, to me, would make the Intercontinental Championship what it used to be when I was a kid watching wrestling and seeing a Shawn, how much it meant to like a Shawn Michaels and a Razor Ramon, a Stone Cold, a Bret Hart, like those people that went after the Intercontinental Championship, and then from there, being able to carry those titles, were elevated and then seen as big picture title holders, because they really cut their teeth in that mid card range. And I think Ludwig Kaiser is that. And what's diabolical about everything that's happening with Ludwig is we saw him like 3 weeks ago get ready to cut a promo before the man can get anything out of his mouth. Some backstage thing happened. I forget what happened now, but they cut the camera away.
Braun Breaker has speared Jey Uso.
There we go. And we ain't seen him since. And I think they're really wasting the Intercontinental Championship reign right now with Dom, because I think Ludwig Kaiser would have been a great person to be going to have a storyline around. The matches he was putting on with Penta should have shown you that he was definitely in that picture. But that's, for me, Ludwig Kaiser. I thought someone would take Chad Gable from me, so I had to back up. But when we sat here and talked about, what we just talked about just now, and I thought to myself, as much as I think Gable is disrespected, we see him almost every week on television, which is a good thing. Ludwig, we don't see. So at least in this situation, I'm going to say Ludwig Kaiser.
See, that's I like that. But see, and it's funny because he can talk. Go ahead, E. Go ahead, E.
I was about to say, what's funny how you said Chad and Ludwig? Went on Raw when Chad got hurt. Ludwig was the one that popped up in the background.
Yeah.
That's hilarious to me.
And one more quick thing. I mean, just think about the story you could have, or what could be going on right now if you have Gunther, however you want to say it, carrying the heavyweight championship, and you have Ludwig Kaiser as the Intercontinental champion. I mean, it would be great. It would be great stuff going right now. But they've kind of split them up, or kind of tore them away from each other, and like we ain't heard nothing from Ludwig.
Yeah, it's a little weird because I feel like it would work. I mean, Lou is an amazing talker. Like it's like some people have the swag when they're in the ring and he can speak.
Yeah.
And could you imagine like almost like a protege type?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously it's been that way, you know, but more of like, yeah, I was Intercontinental Champion. I can teach you to be the great Intercontinental Champion and surpass me. Like all that is there for the taking.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about that. How do you feel on Louis? Do you think that he's got a real argument here for most disrespected in the world?
Oh yeah. Look. He has maximum potential to be that guy for that title. Like the thing is, he's another one of those people where, like, even if it was an Intercontinental Champion, you could put the U.S. title on him, and it would make sense.
Yep.
Like that's one of those people where you don't when you put a non-American person with the U.S. champion,
and they love to
he
do
would
it.
have been that guy. And I mean, he would have been so good. And I agree, man. Like, you know, it's funny. I thought about it because Drew made this point. Hey, shout out to Drew. Of course, you're giving us bangers, bro.
Yeah, all day, every day.
He made a funny point, and he said to me, you ever notice, like, you ain't seen Louis Kaiser ever since Charlotte Flair said that whole thing about him being her DMs? You ain't seen him since then.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I said, that is 100% true, bro. I said, I've not seen this man.
That's crazy.
And it's crazy, man. Charlotte did something. Charlotte said, so I don't know. I ain't trying to point fingers, but somebody's responsible for my man not even being on TV.
He has disappeared. It is. He has disappeared.
What type of pull does Charlotte Flair have, man?
I don't know, man. She got something.
Where's Carmella when you need her? You need somebody that can beat Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair.
I beat Charlotte Flair.
Me.
Hey, that package was hilarious.
Classic. It's all about me.
It's all about me.
Oh man, I miss Carmella, man.
I miss Carmella too. She was very entertaining.
Yeah, shout out to her. I think baby number 2 on the way. So congratulations on that for Carmella.
Hey, Corey not playing, is he?
Nah. He's trying to lock it in.
I guess he go getting all the bills. I guess. I mean, you don't want to let Carmella pay none at all. You know?
Nah, not at all.
Crazy word.
So all right. So I had to think about this a little bit. I was kind of going around. It was a little bit hard for me because I was like, "Dang, who do I really want to put in this spot?" Because there are a lot of great wrestlers in there. Now, I chose one close to my heart, and you mentioned him, Eric, Shinsuke Nakamura. Yes, Shinsuke was United States champion, right? But let's really take a deep dive into what Shinsuke had in the palm of his hands. When you see Seth Rollins, when you see guys like Joe Hendry, you see guys like that just have complete control of the crowd when their entrance hits, and then to couple that with great wrestling ability in the ring, Shinsuke had that. Like we had that a couple years back, and we're talking about 18 and 19. We're thinking like this guy's gonna be world champion. It's gonna be great. And I still feel bad that he never got that world championship. Now he's been in a continental champion a couple times, and he's been United States champion a couple times. So maybe not completely disrespected, but I'm talking about from a world title perspective. This guy is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world. He knows how to handle a crowd, and everybody just kind of attracts to him when that music hits. Everybody's singing. The thing is, they just slowly but surely. They kept changing his theme when it didn't need it did not need
they didn't have to mess with that.
Didn't need to mess with it. You got one of the most over theme songs in all of wrestling, and they keep tinkering with it. And people still try to cheer, even when he went heel. Even this last one, I kind of banged with the last one they had. I thought it was a little cool, gave it a little bit of like, I don't know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, some type of like video game vibe, but it still wasn't the OG, man. I need my man to come out with the violin. I needed that. And so for me, I just feel like a guy who deserved at least one. It just one world heavyweight championship reign in WWE for me. And so Shinsuke is my guy on that. And I know it. I don't think it'll ever get to that point. Doesn't seem like they're nowhere near in that direction. Something crazy would have to happen. But I feel like to me, he's probably my most disrespected person in the world. It was there, man, and you just didn't let it happen. So I'm gonna go there. And if any one of you guys want to, talk about that, and that's fine as well.
Man, no, That is true, man. You really think you know what's funny? It was like after he even lost that match to AJ Styles at Mania, I was like, oh, so we're gonna make his theme about punching somebody in the nuts. You remember that?
Yeah, I
You
do.
remember that?
I do.
And I said, this is what we're doing. We're gonna make this whole thing about this man punching somebody in the nuts. I said, you know what? Whatever, bro. It was just like you said, man. Slowly, dwindling just down. I mean, my man's stock was just going down. I agree, man. That was, yeah,
It was a
very
little rough. It was a
disrespectful.
little rough for your boy. What
Yeah,
it was a little rough for your boy. What about you?
Yeah,
HB?
no, I don't think that's a bad choice. When you talk about a disrespected wrestler, only because when you think about how big Shinsuke, I mean, I downloaded his song just on my playlist just so I can listen to sometimes, just because his theme music was so dope, and I love when he would have to come out and play the violin. But when you talk about NXT and how good his run was there, and then how they started building him up when he first came into WWE, it was like one of the first ones, not the first, but one of the first ones that Vince didn't quite destroy right away.
Right.
He kind of let run a little bit and actually gave him some championship opportunities and stuff like that. But yeah, lately he's just not the same anymore. Like I don't know when they soured on him or what made them sour on him, but like just they gave him man back the United States Championship. He had it for like 3 weeks or so. 4 weeks maybe or whatever it was, and then lost it again. Like it's and I believe it was right before Mania he lost it or something like that. And I just I don't know why. I don't know why they went south on Shinsuke, but he was definitely over in NXT, and you thought he would have a good run in WWE. And like I said, and I thought based on how Vince treated him when he first got there, that he was going to be in good graces with WWE for a long while. But
That part.
yeah,
That part. I think the thing that bothers me the most is, and look, this is gonna be bad. This is probably gonna be shade at my man The Miz, but if The Miz can be a 2-time world champion, you can't tell me
bruh.
that Shinsuke don't deserve.
come on,
one.
bro.
Yeah,
Don't deserve at least one. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Now, HB Press, I really thought you were gonna go with Finn. That's who I thought you were going to say. So I was like, he's definitely going to say Finn. He's going to tell him it's Finn and then just let it be. But hey, Chad Gable, Ludwig, very solid choices. I can't even.
Yeah, it's sad. That's a good point. It is sad though, because they had my man Finn, the inaugural WWE, champion, and then never gave him the Rock back. Never passed him the Rock again.
Nope.
It was like my man missed one 3-point shot, and they say, well, you ain't getting the ball the rest
You're
of the
done,
game.
son.
You're done. You out.
You're done, son.
Hey, man, wide open. They just I don't care. I'm going through triple T. In anybody. But it's crazy. It's criminal. It is. It's criminal. But I don't know why. I have hope. For some reason, I just feel like Finn can do it. I was watching something the other day on like the Bullet Club, and just seeing the young Finn, when he was in the Bullet Club and how that went, and then how the Bucks beat him and kicked him out and all that kind of stuff.
He was kicking everybody out.
Yeah, but and I was like, man, Finn was such a talent, and it's sad now that he's like just stuck in this abyss of the Judgment Day, man. And they have not let that man loose.
I hate it for him. I really do, because I feel like we're missing out. We're still missing, and he's another example of greatest theme song with crowd participation. That you come out as champ. I mean, we still do it now. Even when you hear little teensy weensy bits of it in his promo, you be like, so. I mean, bring it back to us. We ain't gonna be mad. I promise you, I ain't gonna be upset. Come
on. Then it's like when they had him lose to the Fiend, brought him back to NXT. He reinvented himself back as the Prince.
Yes.
And I said, oh, here we go. We're cooking. We are cooking. And then what'd y'all do? You brought him back up to the main roster, and you made him look like a joke again.
Same dream. It's the craziest
ridiculous
thing. But there's so many wrestlers, man.
I keep wondering if Finn will have to leave the WWE in order to ever get back into any type of glory.
It feels like if he ever decided to go, I really think he could thrive at AEW. Like I mean, the way AEW starting to like climb, and make that move, he could be a champion there, and he would have that crowd in the palm of their hands. I truly think that he could do it.
Yeah.
I truly think he could do it. So yeah, so many choices for disrespectful wrestler, the most disrespected wrestler in the world, and and I feel like that will continue to grow over the years. So I feel like this is going to be a topic you bring back next year. You'll be like, all right, who's the most disrespected?
It's gonna be somebody else.
Somebody else is going to get that heat. So as we continue in deep thoughts, the next one I wanted to bring up is if you can make one move, and I saw this on I can't remember what podcast I saw it on, but I thought it was a great question. And it was saying, if you can make one move right now as the head of WWE creative, they say, all right, we're going to take Triple H out. You can make one move to fix whatever. What would it be? HB Prince, I'm going to start with you. If you can make one move as the head of creative right now, what would that move be?
So, oh man, mine is, I don't know, it's kind of weak, but it's something that's in my mind. I just wish I saw more. And it goes back to the mid-cards titles. Like, I'm thinking about Dirty Dom right now with the Intercontinental Championship. And if I was in creative, I would love to have a good story, like a good storyline, that's featuring and centered around that belt. Like, I still think back about, Brett and Stone Cold and how great the story and everything else leading up into their match, and then the match that they had. And I'm just like, that is what you want when you talk about title pictures. I still think about, and I know it's outside of the promotion, but like the Tony Storm and Mariah May, that storyline, how great it was, the matches they had over it. And I want something like that around the mid-card titles. I still think about Stone Cold and Vince McMahon and that storyline and how great that was. And it's just like, I'm a sucker for stuff like that, man. Like good storylines that lead to these types of matches that are just, A1. And I don't think they do that anymore with any of their mid-card and tag team titles. And if I was creative, that's what I would want to focus on. Like, okay, how can we make an interesting story, a whodunit type of story, something like that, where our Intercontinental Championship is involved, or our United States Championship is involved, or maybe there's a tag team that's storyline that we can do, and just make it like just something cool, something that's like, hey, I this has my attention. I can't wait to see what happens next, because it's a great story. Like, just as an example, I still, because and this is how wrestling can stick with you. Remember Vince McMahon in the middle of the ring, Stone Cold with the gun in his hand, and he pulls the trigger, and the thing comes out and just says bang, and it goes down, and Vince has pissed himself in the middle of the ring. I remember stuff like that because the story was so great. It was so gripping. And I miss those days. I miss those times. I miss when DX, they used to always have great storylines with DX and the different shenanigans and things that they would do. And it's just, it's stuff like that. I'm very passionate. That's what I get passionate about. It's just, I want them to get back to respecting titles, respecting championships, respecting the mid-card stuff, because we had so many great wrestlers come up, that had these mid-card titles. And because they had them, we grew to know them better and enjoy them and like them, and the storylines. But I feel like the storylines is what needs to be done, because right now it's like, who cares that Dom has the Intercontinental Championship? He's not doing it. We barely see him wrestle. Who cares who has the United States Championship? It's just, that's my thing. I don't want to keep taking too much time.
Yeah, but it's funny because like, I agree with you, because some of the first people that come to mind, if you go back 90s and you think Intercontinental Championship, we talking about Mr. Perfect going up against, Mr. Perfect going up against Bret Hart, or Davey Boy Smith against Bret Hart at the big SummerSlam, that where the Intercontinental title actually was the headliner of that event. Those moments, Stone Cold when he faced off against Owen Hart in those classic battles.
Yes.
I mean, both guys, we knew they were world heavyweight title contenders, but they made the Intercontinental Championship feel special. And that's you're right. I agree with you. You missed that, man. You missed that feeling of like, yo, man, this storyline is going to be good. I mean, and they just don't have that. It's like you see these title matches now, and they're like, oh, okay, well, Dom's got the belt. We'll throw him in there with Penta, and see how that go, and then we'll throw him in with somebody else. And they don't truly make a story. Now, I will say on the U.S. title side right now, because of Jacob and Solo, this is kind of a long-term storytelling thing. So this one I can deal with because that's been going on for a while. But I agree with you 100%. Eric, what are your thoughts on that, brother?
I think you're 100% right. I 100% agree. I feel like we don't see enough relevancy. Okay, and I ain't talking to Island. When it comes when it comes to that mid-card title, man, like it's legitimately criminal. And it's like you see it not even just with the men, but with the women. Not even just on WWE, but on NXT. Because when we look at a lot of these mid-card title reigns, I'm like, yo, what are we doing here? Like, just like you said about Dirty Dom, got the title, not really doing much right now with it. Yeah, we loved it at the time, and we said, okay, yeah, this could cook with something, but we ain't cooking with nothing. We're just boiling water at this point. You look at even man, I even hate to say it, but you even look at Zelina Vega's title reign right now. Means almost nothing. Again, and we talked about one last week with Sol Ruka. What the hell are we doing with her?
Just
right
there.
Now. Just there. You're holding titles just to hold. Like, yo, come on.
Yeah.
The stories we can be telling, it's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous.
It's bad.
It really is. Sinbad.
but the other thing about that is, and I know, look, I'm a 90s baby, / 80s. So I remember all of how great those storylines were. And, it's, to me, when I look at like the Intercontinental title used to be the Workhorse Championship.
Yeah.
That was like you put the Intercontinental title on your Razor Ramones, on your Bret Harts, on your Mr. Perfect, the Texas Tornado, all those guys, Roddy Piper. When those guys had the Intercontinental Championship, and even Jericho in the late 2000s, like they would give it to Jericho. I think Eddie had it a couple times.
Rob Van Dam, Jeff Hardy.
They gave it to the Workhorse. The Workhorse people got that title, and the people that was on the cusp of being the world heavyweight champion, but it's like that they gave that title.
We can't forget Randy Orton.
Can't forget Randy Orton.
Can't forget Randy.
Can't
boy,
forget Randy.
That joint, boy.
And so that championship kind of led the way to seeing if that person could, like, if his popularity was good enough to kind of see if they were ready to be a world champion. So that part, man, it's a little tough. It's a little tough. Look, the night of all nights. Eric, if you could change one thing, brother, if you could change one thing right now and to your favor in WWE creative, what would it be?
Man, look, this one's gonna be a long one. Pause, because I'm gonna tell y'all what we should have did. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what they should have did for Cody's title reign. Okay, here we go.
Let's go.
Let's pick it into gear right now. Okay, let's get it. So after Cody won, finished the story, right after The Rock, the final boss. After they had this 30-minute talk, okay, we should have been seeing the final boss come around every 2 months during the time, giving Cody Rhodes hell, okay, giving him hell for months and months and months, making his title reign mean something. You put him up against Drew. You put him up against some real heels. You put him up against a Braun Breaker. You put him up against a couple of real heavy hitters that can really build and make the card. Now you're developing stars at this point. You're making some heels, okay? I'm giving you tips here. Work with me here. Now, at this point, we are at Elimination Chamber. Final boss. Ask Cody, I want your soul. Because at this point, the final boss, you can't beat Cody. So at this point, now you want him as your champion. Come on now. I'm reeling it in at this point. Now at this point, Cody says, F off, Rock. All right, we got it. Now, this is all about to make some sense here. Now we fast forward. It's funny, I feel like I'm doing the whole review of the show at this point. At this point, now we're at WrestleMania, night 1, where Seth and Paul Heyman become a thing. Now is where we come to night 2, where John Cena turns and becomes heel. And at this point, Seth comes out. Paul comes out. Triple H comes out. The final boss comes out. Now, everybody has turned on Cody. And at this point, the Authority 2.0 is now created and is now made in the image of what Seth Rollins has wanted. And at this point, now, We have built the baby face of Cody Rhodes to now to where there is no other way. Okay, there's no other way where Cody has no other option but to fight at his hardest, fight at his best. And why can't he do it? Because now you got Seth. You got Seth. You got the Authority 2.0. Now this all makes sense. Why? Because Triple H said he told you. You watch what you watch. I don't care what you want to watch. You're going to watch this. Why? Because this is what the Authority is. Seth is telling you, I'm making this in my image. Man, look, I go lie. It writes itself here at this point. I'm just saying, if they would have did that, okay, that was just one of the things I thought about. That was just one of the things. My other thing I said to myself, man, let's just give my man Montez Ford a singles push. I don't know how many more times I got to say this. Let's just give Montez Ford a singles push.
Let the man cook.
Let him cook. We see what he does. Look, the Instagram stuff, the stuff he's doing on Instagram, come on. Come on. You imagine the kind of promos this man would be killing doing? Look, if you gave him an intercontinental title reign, you gave him a U.S. title reign, if you let this man win the Royal Rumble, you imagine the pop? You imagine what he would do if he won at WrestleMania? Being not just a champion, but a real champion. A man that's got the perfect package. Pause. He can give you some funny moments. He can get serious. He can go on the ring and go crazy. Okay? The man can give you some crazy athleticism. Give you some strength. I don't get it with that, man. We gotta let my man Taz get the push. That is another thing I would tell. If Triple H wasn't in the room, write it in there right now.
Erase everything you got. Whiteboard clean.
Montez singles push. That's it. Walk out the room. It's done. That's what I got, man. Those are my biggest two.
I like that. I like that. HB Prince, you got any thoughts on that?
No, I like it. I feel like they squandered what they had going with that story of Mama Rhodes, and beating Cody with the belt and all of that, and they just squandered that whole thing. And what was so good about that was actually a good story. Yeah, it was actually a good story that you just that made you look for it, and then how everything played out in WrestleMania. Like that was probably the last good story that they had going into WrestleMania, because this year WrestleMania, I don't know if there was really a real gripping story going into WrestleMania that I can remember or think of right off top of the head. But that one was good, and because it was given that old school vibe of what we used to see back when we were younger. Mm-hmm. The outside promos where it looks like I'm like, is he going to toss Cody over the bridge? But he's throwing him he's throwing him into a camper. Because was it the Rock and Stone Cold feud where the Rock threw the belt or Stone Cold threw the belt over into the river or something like that?
And then the Rock threw him in the Rock threw him in the river.
And the Rock threw him in the river. That's the vibe that I was getting from that. And I was like, you can tell the Rock has his hands in this, or excuse me, let me fix that blasphemy. The final boss has his hands in this because he's kind of doing stuff that they used to do back in the Attitude Era. Right. That you just don't really see anymore. And I do think I would kind of go on a slightly different route than what E was just talking about is in the fact that I would have used it to where made the story to where it finally broke Cody and made Cody the American Nightmare.
Okay.
But that's kind of how I would have changed it just a little bit. But what he was cooking with is fire.
So making it almost and I'm throwing this out there, maybe vigilante Sting to an extent, because you remember you remember how Sting was he wasn't talking, but you knew you couldn't figure out where he was or where's he siding, and maybe not exactly the same, but maybe something in that vibe where it's what's wrong with Cody? Is he the American Nightmare? Is he the Cody Rhodes that we all love? What is he?
Yeah,
that could have.
They could have cooked, man. And I really like that though, because if he would have broke and went crazy, then you still could have had Seth join him, and that would have made sense still. Why? Because they worked together on the last Mania.
Yep.
Give us a freaking man. Get us a contract. I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
it's a storyline. It's such
Yeah.
a sad thing because you made a great point. Elwood, you made a great point when he was leaving out of WrestleMania, and it was just like, yo, we had all the expectations of what this thing was going to be. Like we were like, oh man, Rock's going to come back in 3 months, and he's going to get Cody, and it just, and we got was this and Bad Blood, and then all of a sudden, my man showed up one other time.
Oh, your mic went out again.
It done cut out. You're muted. You muted yourself.
But can you hear us? Nope, he out. You out. But just real quick though, 2E, while Mr. Exclusive get himself back, we still haven't found out what he whispered to Cody Rhodes. What he gave him. Like I'm like, are we ever going to finish that story? And I don't know if they're going to get back around to it going into Mania this year. Just because right now you're still dealing with all the mess with Cena and how that's going, but I'm still trying to figure out what in the world did he give Cody? What did he give Cody? What is the end of that?
See, and I'm not even gonna lie. If it was the Ula Fala, that would have made sense,
right?
In a lot of ways to me, because it was like Roman wasn't there, Solo was trying to do whatever. So even if he gave him the Ula Fala and was like, you defeated my tribal chief. Okay, whoa, this is a little. I mean, I would have been okay with that. Like just something.
I would have took anything, but hey,
pause. You gotta pause that.
Yeah, pause.
That was crazy.
Super no diddy. And look, I know they dropped 3 charges today, but he's still not getting out, y'all. They only dropped 3 charges today. We it's still no diddy.
Take that.
So, all right. So I'm gonna keep mine kind of simple. The one thing I would change, and I feel like this probably should have happened about 2 years ago, probably, if not. And that for me, you got to put, in my opinion, your smoothest talker as world champion, and that's LA Knight. I feel like if I'm gonna do anything right now, you give LA Knight the push that he deserves to become world champion. Now, there's potential here. He started this feud with Seth Rollins and The Vision, as well. I'm going to affectionately call him until they give us a name. And so when this whole thing happens, I'm like, okay, this could be a really good setup for LA Knight. But I would, as creative, I would make sure that we follow through on this, okay, and give him, like, put him out for a couple months. He makes an epic return. By this time, Seth is champ after the Money in the Bank cash in, and we talking about LA Knight is just giving him pure hell until he climbs the mountaintop and becomes whatever champion, the championship that our man Seth Rollins has at the time. Me personally, I probably would give him the WWE only because I want to see him with that WWE World Championship. And to me, I think we could be doing LA Knight an injustice by not giving him a world title reign. Look, LA Knight's in his 40s now, and he still probably got a couple of good years where he can still be, a solid world champion. The fans absolutely love him. You bring it up all the time. We haven't even seen real heel LA Knight. We waiting for the dummy button to just come on in the kitchen. And so one way or the other, even if if he does it as a heel or if he does it as a face, it's going to be nothing but pure gold. So my first objective would be give LA Knight the title and see how great I think that title reign could be, because there's so many storylines they can go with it. He's a great wrestler in the ring, and you can't take that away from him. So for me, I would give LA Knight the title and make that man a world champion. It's long overdue at this point. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's what I would do with that. Now, we're getting in deep. We still got 2 to go, but no Diddy. Before we get into that part, it is time for our top 5 section, and this time we're doing top 5 tag teams. And man, it's gonna be a good topic. Me and E Knight talked a little bit before and was like, this is a little bit tough for us because we were struggling. So it was just like, it was really hard for me to decide who I put on this list. So I can't wait to see where you guys went with this. Elwood, aka HB Prince. I'm gonna start with you first, man. Give us your top 5, and you can throw some honorable mentions in there if you want to too. But give me your top 5 tag teams of all time.
Are we
Five to stay
going?
alive, baby.
Are we starting 5 going down to 1, or are we going 1 up to 5? Like
It's
how
your
you want?
is your world, brother. Whatever way
No,
you want
actually,
to
I
do
don't even want to do that. I'm just gonna tell you the 5 people tag teams I have on the list, and we just gonna rock with that.
All
and
right.
listen, it's my top 5 tag teams, and so to start it off, I want a little nostalgia. Okay, I went to a tag team that I was used to seeing when I was a kid. We had action figures, the little, I forget what those things called, where you put the little wrestler on the little
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
stand rock, yeah, and you can twist the little knob, and they like
And they be hit.
and one pops off. Yeah, when one pops off, it was, I forget, they pop it or whatever. I forget
Yeah,
what it was
Rock'em
called.
Sock'em Robot.
Pocket.
Yeah.
And the things, yeah. So anyhow, but the point is, I got Hawk and Animal of the LOD, the Legion of Doom.
Right.
And then I could not go without putting a tag team that I just loved, and was my favorite for probably my whole entire childhood, and it was, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. I had to put in the New Age Outlaws. The badass Billy Gunn, the Road Dog Jesse James, the New Age Outlaws. Man, I used to love when Road Dog came out, and as soon as I heard I knew what it was. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children, or whatever you say, around the world. But yeah, I loved New Age Outlaw, so I had to have him on there. And then, of course, I got the Heat, man. I had to have the Heat on it, the Harlem Heat. That me and my brother, would start wrestling when the Harlem Heat music would hit, and we'd watch them wrestle, whatever. And right after they were done, we would get on our parents' bed. No, we weren't supposed to be on there. And just start wrestling each other, doing leg drops, trying to do spinneroonies, it was just how we were. I mean, it was, man, I used to love it.
Whatever that laugh
was. Hey, Harlem Heat, I had to have them on there. Then I got the Hardy Boys on there. Got to give them a little respect, because they definitely deserve it for what they did with the tag team division. And then, of course, I got the Bucks, man. I gotta have a Young Bucks on there. That's the best tag team that I mean, there's no disrespect to any. God. I mean, no disrespect to any of the tag teams, because there's quite a few good ones, like super good ones. Like, you think about the Hart Foundation, you think about the British Bulldogs, you think about oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank right now.
There's a lot of them,
like Demolition. I'm trying to think. Edge and Christian, can't forget about them.
Yeah, man.
So but I had to put the Bucks on there because I came into their work late, but just watching them in the ring, watching how they remind me of like old school, like the Rockers. I can't forget about the Rockers.
Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express. Yep, but
the Von Erichs, but their tag team style is very much of like, it's got like an old school vibe, feel, but they have new school move sets. I don't know how to say it when you're watching them, but they blend it so well because it's such a good tag team. They're so choreographed. Like, it's like they know what moves they're doing together without ever having to say it. And it's like, man, are they practicing these matches? Right. How are they knowing that they both want to do roundhouse kicks at the same time? How are they knowing I'm gonna flip one in the air, the other's coming off the top rope, and I'm clotheslining? Like, it's perfect in sync tag team stuff. Perfect. So that's how my top 5 shapes up.
It's a pretty solid top 5.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, you done got a couple of my people on that.
I'm not gonna lie to you now. I'm gonna tell you, we must all be like in sync, because I'm not gonna lie to you, there's a couple of them on mine as well. Knight, baby, man, give me your top 5, man.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, my 5 to stay alive, boy. Look, my 5 at number 5. Beer Money.
Oh,
Like,
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I'd have been slacking myself in life. I could not forget about the greatness of those two men.
I love it. I love it.
TNA. I had to throw in Beer Money.
Money.
Come on, man. That was such a great tag team. And then when people thought they were coming back at WWE, I was like, no, we ain't gonna see that. We seen greatness in TNA. So my number 4, the Hart Foundation, man. I'd have been capping when I seen those greatness of those. Come on. Greatness out of them. Number 3 for me was, and this was a tough one, but this one was so hard for me because I wanted to put Rated RKO because of how.
That's why you made that noise when I said something about it earlier.
I really wanted to put them on there, but because for me, the promos that Edge used to cut on there when he was with Rated was so funny. Like when he used to be like, "I'm not one of the." What he say? I'm a big advocate for Black History Month. I'm not like the rest of these bigots. I said, "Oh my god!" He was so funny with that, that's one of my honorable mentions. But for number 3, I had to put the Hardy Boys, man. Like everything they did when they reinvented themselves, went to Impact. When my man was when it was Brother Nero.
Yep.
Delete.
Man,
that deletes. You could. What? When I went back to watching Impact in 2016, and I said, "What is this?" And I said, "Whoa, he's good." And I said, "Yo, what is this?" But I loved it. And then, just the Hardys are one of those guys. I feel like I will put them in that class with Chris Jericho. When you look at them and how much, and like Chris Jericho is one of those people that can always reinvent himself. And the Hardys are one of those guys that can definitely do that as well. That was my number 3. Number 2, got to go to the modern day at this point. The Street Profits. I'd have been capping if I ain't put the Profits on that list. Okay.
I was gonna say the Maharaja.
hey,
crazy word.
The game, baby. Hey, yo.
I'd have been capping if I didn't put the Street Profits on it, and this was hard, but it's funny. Number 1 for me wasn't a difficult choice.
Really?
But because number 2, it was really between the Street Profits or the Undisputed Era. Because I could have went either way with that, but I was like, nah, man, there's something about the Profits. If you ask me about a faction, Undisputed Era. But the tag team, the Profits, number 1. Come on, I've been talking about these guys. You heard what the Heartbreak Prince talked about. Yes, my number 1. My number 1. It's the Bucks. It's the Bucks.
It's the Bucks.
Oh shoot! Okay,
it's the Bucks.
I'm not a big Bucks fan, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have been a Bucks fan since probably 2016. And I've been saying it. Look, Heartbreak Prince knows. I've been saying this for the last few episodes on Nighttime. There is no better tag team than the Bucks. Yeah. I think there is nobody that is legitimately touching them. I think if you went on every single era and you just put a time machine and put them with everybody, they would still kill everybody. It don't matter.
Man.
The Young Bucks have legitimately, they're just that good. Well, I've never seen them botch. I've never seen them mess up. Just like synchronized. Now, funny how you said that, Heartbreak Prince, when you was like, how are they so synchronized? I remember there was a time when they had like a little behind the scenes, probably before they was doing the Being the Elite. And it was like Matt and Nick was just going over a match in their head. It was like super kick. So I say, what the heck? And in their head, that's legitimately how they do this. Yeah. And when you look at just
brother magic,
man, I say this all the day. The best tag teams are the brotherly tag teams.
True.
And just everything with the Bucks as a whole, man. Like, I love Matt on the mic. Like, Matt Jackson is great on the mic. And I like when I like Nick a little bit more on the ring. But they're it's the perfect blend. That perfect blend. Like, you got one that's a little bit better on the mic, you got one that's a little bit better but they're both equally so great together. And even them, come on, even them as the EVPs. Come on.
Yeah.
These guys did some work tonight on Dynamite. Come on.
Yeah.
He just did a whole double knee to Adam Page. I said, man, how could you hate these men? How could you say there is a better tag team than the Bucks? And they're at my number one, baby.
Dang, I feel bad because I didn't even put him in my group.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's your group.
It's your
group.
tag. It's your five to stay alive.
But you know, it's the thing. Like, I love their ability in the ring. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I haven't been able to get. Maybe I don't get enough AEW in my bloodstream to maybe really like fall in love with them. But I have seen them wrestle, and they're great in the ring, so I can't take that away from them. Now, with that being said, all right, let's go with this. So. You see me, I'm rocking a Booty-O shirt today, but they're not in the 5 to stay alive. So I wanted to go ahead and give a shout out to, I believe it's a 13-time world champions at this point. It was either 13 or 12.
14 now.
14? Okay.
14. My
so
God.
14-time tag team champions. I'm going to give them some love. Now, the only reason why I didn't want to put them in the top 5 is, yes, because they're more like a faction. Yes, they've been tag team champions, but it's 3 of them. So for me, I'm just like, it's not 2 people. I don't know why I feel like it has to be just the 2, but they all have worked well together, you know, and they rotate. So I did want to give them a shout out because, you know, they've been doing it for so long. They've been amazing. They've entertained us for years. They're doing good work right now. I still think it could be better, but it's because they don't give them a real rivalry yet. Ooh, so, but I'm just saying. But yes, I want to put them in there as my honorables. I also had, and I know a lot of people beat me up, and if you're watching this, but I had the Road Warriors because a lot of people had Road Warriors as number 1. And I love their presentation. I love everything about the Road Warriors. I couldn't put them in my top 5, but I wanted to give them some love. Now, the last honorable mention before I go to the live for 5 here, of the 5 to stay alive. Money Inc.
Stay alive.
Money Inc.
That's
the $1 million man and the IRS, Aaron Arsheiser.
Yes.
And the reason why is because growing up, I loved their promos. When they would come out to the ring and then Aaron Arsheiser's like, hey, did you pay your taxes? And I'm like, it was just the way he delivered it.
Yeah.
And you got the man with the money, and then you got the guy trying to take your money. And whenever they did their little vignettes or promos, they were always funny to me. And I just thought they were the perfect combination of money, greed as tag team champions. And it was so hard because I really wanted to put them in my top 5. I was like, man, Money Inc. I'll throw love real quick to the Natural Disasters too, because I thought they were cool growing up. I wanted to throw them in there because who beating those big brothers? Huh? Like who beating those big brothers? But I digress. All right, now here we go. This is where I agree a little bit with my man, the HB Prince. I went with the New Age Outlaws. And I got them at 5 because even though I hated them growing up, because I hated the way they treated the Nation of Domination. I was like, how can you treat the Nation like this? I said, man, they come in the ring and they just made fun of my boys, but they were entertaining. And even if you hated them, as soon as you heard, oh, you didn't know, you was up in the house you were gonna do it. You were gonna do it. So I got them at 5. At number 4. And I had to really think about this, but at number 4, I got Uso. So I put the Usos in at 4. I love what the Usos have done since they started. You know, they've transitioned themselves in different ways. They've both been able to kind of have some single success. Maybe Jimmy not as much as we would like, but being able to do what they've been able to do. And whenever they're in the ring, it's once again the brotherly thing. It's something about brothers in the ring that, they're at the house, they've been practicing, they know each other, and it just works out beautifully. And then I stay along with the guys, the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff. I got them coming in at number 3. The Hardy Boys have done so much. They're still going. I mean, they've been doing this since like 1994. I mean, when they were in WWE as like, enhanced talent, 1994, man, that I was 10. These suckers been doing it for 30 years easily.
Longevity.
And so it's hard not to put the Hardy Boys in there. So I got them at 3. This is where the debate came in. Number 2 and number 1. And I almost flipped the coin for this, but at number 2, I'm with Elwood here. That's why I said Elwood started just saying my list, but I got my guys, the Harlem Heat. So I had to have them in there. Booker T made it cool for for a black person
Yeah.
to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
Yes, we've had other black wrestlers, but when Booker T was coming out there, he was talking like us, he was sounding like us.
Yep.
Him and Stevie Ray just were so good. And then you add Sensational Sherry in there, and it just gives them a whole nother twist. But the Harlem Heat to me were really just, just amazing in WCW. I wish they would have maybe just once had a run in WWE, but they were just perfection. And to me, they're the greatest WCW tag team of all time, and it ain't close. I'm sorry, Steiners. Whoever else in that bad boy. I'm sorry, I can't give it to you. I got to give it to my boys.
Yeah.
At number one, the 23-time world champions. I gotta go with the Dudley Boys. I feel like the Dudley Boys have done it on every place they've been to. Multiple world champions. Bully Ray, aka Bubba Ray, has done absolutely amazing work. He did a great job as a singles competitor when he was out there. I just feel like when I was a kid, I thought the 3D was the coolest move I had ever seen. And when that crowd was like, whenever you hear that, I'll be at the house. So for me, I want to show them love, and I want to give it to Bubba Ray and Devon. And yes, maybe not brothers by blood, but those brothers are brothers. And so for me, I'm going with 3D as my number one team of all time. Yeah, that's right. That's where I had to go.
This was tough, man.
It was tough.
It was hard, bro.
It was tough because it was like there's some good ones, And shout out Rock and Sock Connection.
Rock and Sock was entertaining.
I remember there was another one, and I can't think of the name of the group, but it was like, were they the Headbangers or something like that? Mosh and Pit or something like Mosh and Thrasher. Yeah. They would go on for a minute. Yeah.
I forgot about the Headbangers, man. Oh my God. Yeah, the Headbangers were cool. The Bushwhackers.
The Bushwhackers. Yep. Oh, the Bushwhackers. Yep. I don't know how I forgot about them. Yep. Yeah.
They have so many.
I even thought about. They didn't really talk much, but the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas.
Hey, look,
man, like those boys used to go crazy up in there.
Yeah.
Another one, another one, family wise. The Guerreros, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Eddie
and Chavo.
Ooh, Chavo. Heat. I said, man, come on.
Hey, low key, Chavo theme music might be like top 10 underrated of all time. And that Chavo. Dun, dun, dun. And his dad had some funky music too. I can't remember his dad, but like when his dad came and wrestled for a little bit in WWE when Chavo Guerrero singing, he had a little funky tune. So I was like, oh, they just give the Guerreros all the good stuff.
Yeah, they knew it. They knew how to pick that music, boy. They knew. Them Guerreros. They know how to get the crowd going, boy. Ooh, Chavo.
Yeah, that was a little dab.
Great, man.
Oh my God. All right. So those are our top 5 tag teams of all time. I don't know, maybe spill the guts. We might have to do top 5 underrated themes next time, but we'll say that for next month. But we're gonna finish this up, y'all, with our hot takes. All right, everybody. So look, we're gonna finish it up here on our first episode of Xclusive Minds. This has been a fun one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Me and H.B. Prince talked a little bit before. I was like, man, I'm a little tired coming in. We know we're a little late, but my energy level done perked up since we started talking. So I've had a really good time, and I appreciate you fellas for joining me for this first episode of Xclusive Minds. It has been absolutely fun. So now with the hot take section here, we're gonna give something off our chest here. If there's something that you want to talk about that you just it's been eating at you, this is your chance to do it. So I'll start off with the head knight himself, Mr. Eric Knight. Hey, Easy E, man, go ahead and give. If you got a hot take, this is your time, baby. Let them know how you feel.
Look, man, I'm gonna tell you right now. I've been saying this. Look, the way this is looking right now. All right, hot take. Okay, y'all have been pushing this man, Sami Zayn, saying all this stuff.
Oh,
Okay, y'all saying all this. I'm gonna tell you right now. This is my hot take. What's today? June 25th,
June
2025.
25th. Yep.
Mark my words. Sami Zayn wins the Royal Rumble and has a WrestleMania moment and wins the World Champion.
I like
Tell
it.
you right now.
I like
Tell you
it.
right now.
I like
There's
it.
too many. It's too many things. They're saying too much.
They've
saying
been pushing it. They've been pushing it. Now, and low key though, I need Cross to
wanna
win
see
it.
it.
I need Cross to win it.
Yes.
I need Cross to go
Night
ahead
of
and win
Champions.
at Night of Champions. I need
Mhm.
that for him. If not, at least a really good match. But I'm hoping he get the dub. I need the
Yes.
lovable loser to keep on losing. Come sorry, sir.
That's right. He's about to have a Hank and Tank situation. He gonna
Hey.
keep losing and losing and losing until he wins the big one that matters.
He's like, I can't believe, and the crowd's gonna
I
go
like it.
crazy.
Yeah,
They will. They
That
are.
Pop,
They will.
Pop's gonna go crazy.
They did. Oh, I did it again.
What is going on, man? Every time when it comes to you, we are cutting off.
Yeah. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Happen again. Well, you know what? Heartbreak Prince, what's your hot
Yeah.
take for this one right now?
So my hot take, man, is something that I've been thinking about for specifically for I've been doing for a minute. Let me get my words together here.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it for a while, and I've been dropping it. We've been talking about it. But it's always like it may be a little far fetched. But then after seeing Friday night and listening to the reverse pipe bomb that took place with John Cena and CM Punk,
Mhm.
I've been saying Seth Rollins should cash in the Money in the Bank on John Cena. And the reason why I've been saying that, and even now is my hot take, is because I think it's the best story for it to happen that way, because Seth Rollins has been touting himself as this savior of wrestling. And I think after seeing this pipe bomb, to me, it's even more clear. The picture's even more clear that it has to be Seth Rollins cashing in his Money in the Bank, not necessarily on Cena, but what I would envision here. All right, just work with me. So we heard Cena be diabolical on the mic towards CM Punk and kind of let some of his demons out to the world. Not all.
Mhm.
And I like stuff like this. And I wish they did it a little bit more. I wish they was a little bit more messy like this. When they do their promos, like, because this was really good. The stuff that Cena talked about, the stuff that he did, how he kind of cut CM Punk down. Now, I still don't know how the fans are gonna accept CM Punk, because it still seems like on Monday Night Raw they were still hyped for CM Punk. But my point is, if Seth Rollins is this savior, you have John Cena and CM Punk getting ready to go head to head. CM Punk, let's just say if he were to win, it's bad because Seth Rollins, we know, can't stand CM Punk, and CM Punk would not be considered, if I'm Seth Rollins, a person that should have the championship. John Cena is already talking about trying to ruin wrestling. He doesn't deserve the championship. So Seth Rollins cashes in the championship. In my mind, what I would like to see is CM Punk beat Cena. It's probably not going to happen, but CM Punk beats Cena. Immediately, Seth Rollins' music drops. He goes, cashes in, and beats CM Punk. I think that's great for the story that you already know has been happening between CM Punk and Seth Rollins. It's great for the story of Seth Rollins saying, I've been telling y'all I am the savior of wrestling. But I also think Cody can factor back into this, because in Seth's way of doing things, it's like the old saying of, I'm doing all of the wrong things for the right reasons. He has the intention of what he's trying to do is good. How he's going about it is bad, is diabolical. But then you have your knight in shining armor, let's just say, and that's Cody Rhodes, who the fan loves as the face and all that kind of stuff. Now he's after Seth Rollins to get the belt back, and to be really the true savior of what wrestling is, or of wrestling. And I know it's a long-winded way, because I'm still trying to put it together in my head,
but I see the
about
vision.
how it would work out. But the problem is, and where it all falls flat is, I don't see CM Punk beating John Cena in Riyadh, if I said it right. Yeah. So it's like, So I don't know exactly when he'll be able to cash in. I just to me, I just don't see Gunther being. To me, Seth Rollins has been there, done that with that title. He needs to have the undisputed title, because let's just be real, that's seen as the bigger title. And so him cashing in on Gunther and just obtaining the second title, I don't think is worth it.
Right.
But if he's going along this thing as he's the visionary, he has this vision that he's the savior, it has to be between John Cena and CM Punk, two people that really just aren't worthy of being the WWE undisputed champion, especially because of their history, their past, with how they behaved in the company, how they treated other wrestlers. Because I know I'm getting a little bit off topic. One last thing.
No, you're good.
No, you're not.
I'm still conflicted about, because when you listen to what John Cena said, he said that CM Punk stepped on the necks of a Claudio Castagnoli, of
Matt
Cardona, and of
Nick
Nemeth. But it's, I wish I knew more about what that meant. Like, I want to hear from Nick Nemeth. I want to hear from Claudio, because they know what that means or what that meant. And so, yeah, because we never saw CM Punk. That's not how he sold himself to us as watchers, as viewers. It was always John Cena was the bad guy, but it's all right.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
You kind of got me thinking, though, Heartbreak Prince, like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Mr.
No, you're good.
It's like I think about this now. It's like Seth is the one to win that title, right? And I think about that night one at Mania with Seth, winning that triple threat match, and Roman and Punk looking at Seth, and of course he had the chair in his hand. But what instead of the chair, it's the title? And then of course, if we know something, if Cody is trying to come back for that title, what if we see a fatal four-way match at Mania next year between Cody, Seth, Roman, and Punk,
and CM Punk,
and Seth is still the one that is victorious at WrestleMania, and I just kind of was thinking about it. That's why I was just sitting there like, wait a minute, this could cook. This could be something. This could be something. You're on to something, HB Prince. I like this. I like this a whole bunch.
I like it too. I like it.
Like I said, we'll see. I think it falls apart though in reality.
He's like, I don't know how I figure it out, but it falls apart. It
falls apart because I don't see CM Punk beating Cena.
I would be surprised. I really would. I would be very surprised if they're going to keep this on the road the way it went when Cena was facing Punk and Punk took the title. Yeah, I can't see Cena. They kind of seem like they're trying to reverse that moment and have Cena do all the Punk stuff. So if that's the case, then Cena definitely wins.
One quick thing, but think about the heat though. Like, the crowd has wanted CM Punk to win the championship forever. He finally wins it, but he holds it for like 5 seconds because he's immediately cashed in on. Like, the crowd would be furious, and then Seth could really be like, "I told you, I had to save it. I had to save us. I had to save wrestling."
Yep.
Great.
He's
it would be great.
Okay.
He's the Messiah.
Oh man. And then I'm thinking about when even Punk told Cena when he was like, I remember what that title did to me. It made me corrupted me. And this, I was like,
he did say that. He did say that.
He did say that.
That's where I'm like, okay, this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? We're not the people with the pen. I'm sorry.
the thoughts are there. And this is why we're exclusive minds, because our minds are beyond everyone else. These minds are exclusive, baby. All right. So my hot take, I'm going to go to the land of AEW. So, and look, y'all know me. I do watch AEW. I mean, maybe not watch it as much as I should, but when I don't, I go to nighttime, and nighttime gives me all the tools I need to know about the greatness that is AEW going on right now. But with that being said, there's one thing that's always kind of bothered me, and I've never really liked his character since he became AEW World Champion. My hot take is he is a terrible wrestler. I am not a fan of Jon Moxley, and I think that his style, everything about Jon Moxley is absolutely trash. So I'm sorry. That's my take is he is not a good wrestler. And he does a little, it's more of like the death match type of wrestler, and
Yeah.
that's fine and dandy and all, but his personality does nothing for me as your world champion. If you want to make this thing, in my opinion, you gotta get a world champion in there that either people are gonna love or people that can work it, like MJF, who was phenomenal as world champion the first time around. Maybe you give it to Swerve, who never truly got the opportunity to be the world champion he needed to be. They gave him one of those title reigns where they kind of gave him weird title matches. And then they kind of just had him with the belt, but he wasn't really who he needed to be as champion. Those are the type of guys, Adam Hangman Page, his first title reign didn't probably go the way that a lot of people would have liked to gone, that, I thought that it would have went, the way they've built it up this time around. If he doesn't win that title, I will be highly disappointed if he does not win that title. Not just because the man is from VA represented in the building. That ain't got nothing to do with anything. What I'm saying is Moxley has been a born champion. Maybe when he first got there in AEW, he was like, okay, look, it's Mox, man. He's here. Oh my God, look at him. And it just never did it for me. I didn't like him really that much as Dean Ambrose. I thought he was a little lunatic. He made a little funny punchline here and there. I'm like, all right, cool. But you are the least talented of the Shield members. And that's the way I've always felt. I thought you used to be the better talker, but that was when you were in WWE. Now everything just seems, I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't think he's a good wrestler. And he should not be your world heavyweight champion. You have very capable people. When is Will Ospreay going to get this title?
Let's go.
When are we going to get somebody to hold this championship that I can take it to another level than the born as John Moxley?
I think they might be onto something though.
That's my hot take.
With AEW, man, I think I'm definitely gonna talk about this on Nighttime tomorrow, but I think we might be on the cusp of seeing Adam Page win it. Mm-hmm. But the promo that MJF cut, and he was like, I don't care about your crooked cowboy, Adam Page. That's the story that we might be seeing. If he goes back if Adam Page wins that title, best believe the best heel in this day and age, MJF is gonna come for that title with the Hurt Syndicate.
Look, they're missing out on a golden opportunity here. Like MJF, to me, if I was gonna do it, MJF's the champion. But I could deal with Swerve. I can deal with Adam Page. But MJF is your guy to take this company where you want it to go. It was starting to happen when he was champ, and then they took it from him. I'm telling you now, and you guys know this. I don't have to really tell you guys this. He's a guy, if AEW really wants to take that next leap, that's your champion. That's the guy that you put the belt on for a stupid amount of time until people get tired of him, and then some hero comes out of the shadows. I don't think it's going to happen. Right, and you get some hero that come out of the shadows and become the champion. But yes, sorry, Moxley, you are boring, sir. I can't. I just can't.
I mean, I see where you're coming from there. I've always looked at Moxley as a mediocre wrestler. Like I never was wowed by Moxley. He was just more crazy and daring is how I would describe him. Mm-hmm. I do like the little bit of the story that they have going with Moxley and the belt being in the briefcase. I do like that, the story around it. But when you talk about watching him in the ring, I feel like he's always been kind of stiff. He's not like uber athletic. Like he's not like a Seth Rollins and even Roman Reigns. For as much grief as Roman caught in his earlier days, I still thought he was the second best wrestler of the group, and I always looked at Moxley as the third best. So yeah, I mean, I can see why you feel that way, and yeah, I mean, and then Moxley's been through a whole lot, and he definitely. Even from his time in WWE, you can see his style has even like fallen off even from that. If that makes any sense. But yeah, it's just, and I don't know if it's from injuries or just weight. And he must have had a neck injury, it seems. I don't know if it's neck or back. Yeah. But even now, the way he walks, he's got like this hunch. Yeah, it's like I don't. Yeah, Moxie's been through. He's been through it, but yeah, he's just always been that way. He's been stiff.
Hey, as E would say, the man has no aura. The man had. I'm sorry. AEW. This is your chance. You got too many talented wrestlers that can hold that title, and it's time. It's time.
Yeah, it's coming.
According to this man has had this belt since October of 2024. It's been almost a year, man. Like, no, take the title off this man.
Was it Daniel Bryan? Did he beat Daniel Bryan for it?
Yeah,
Right?
beat Daniel Bryan. After Daniel Bryan beat Swerve, which we thought was a champion. So
man,
now that goes.
That's a whole nother dream.
That's a whole
that's a whole nother dream. But
yeah,
I digress.
It should have been Will Ospreay then.
Right.
Will Ospreay should have beat Daniel Bryan for that belt.
I've been very surprised that Will hasn't had the title yet, but I mean, and maybe in due time. I mean, especially after we saw. Remember when MJF and Will Ospreay went and they had that? Wasn't that gold?
Yes.
That was gold.
My God,
there's so much potential, but you gotta take the title off the man with no aura and the man that is, to me, the most boring wrestler.
I just can't wait to see what's in that briefcase. I'm starting to be like the people on social media. Is like, what is in that damn? I need to see it. Is the title really in there? I have to find out.
It's got to be a machine.
I can't wait to All In. So when Hangman wins, they open it up. I want to know if it was in there the whole time.
that will be interesting. I'm kind of intrigued by that too. I'm definitely intrigued by that. All right. Well, this has been Xclusive Minds, episode 1 here. Like I said, we're gonna come to you once a month to bring you a little bit of the fun side here and just talk a little bit deeper into the wrestling. You know, maybe not our reviews like normal, maybe not the greatness of Nighttime or the heartbreak, but we just want to be able to occasionally give you a little something extra here. And so we appreciate everybody tuning in. Now, before we go, of course, you got to make sure you go and follow the Xclusive Knights on all of our social media platforms. We got too much greatness going on here, man. Like just reported today, the YouTube channel sitting at 150. Whoop whoop.
Hey, yes, sir.
Oh, let's go slowly but surely.
Look, we chugging now. About what 2 or 3 episodes ago, we were just like, man, we had 99. So we done dropped 50. Got 50 subs here in the last month. And I shout out to our man Knight, baby, Eric Knight. Going on those TikTok platforms, kicking butt, taking names on those platforms, bringing all those eyes to the Xclusive Nights podcast. So we appreciate you, brother.
New age outlaws.
Yeah, man. Hey, and we are sitting at 300, I believe 302 followers right now on TikTok. So y'all keep liking it up. Y'all keep following us, and trust me when we tell you we're gonna keep giving you that content the exclusive way.
That's right. And so I don't say this. I don't say it as eloquent as my man E do. So I'm gonna let E go ahead and take us out smoothly. E, go ahead and let them know how I go, brother.
Hey, come on, y'all already know what it is, because we are the Xclusive Knights, and we ensure that we are the best there is, the best there was, and the best it ever will be. And to always ensure that our nights will never be the same.
Be the same.
Peace. Until next time. Check out Nighttime, baby. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Famous, sir.
This is it, what? This is it, what? This is it, what? Now pop the cork and steam the Vega and get lit, what? And get lit, what?